Hello again, greetings, chess aficionados. We got the last installment of 5 knight takes c3 in the Petrov, and this one is probably the most fun. So I had the pleasure to go down this particular line I'm about to show you, and it's a great feeling when you study something, and then it plays out right in front of you on the board. It must be similar to a martial artist, executing a move that he's practiced, a dozen times, but he's never had the chance or the right situation to use it. So we're going to look at knight c6 here. So knight c6. Now this may just be played by a player who doesn't know that they're supposed to play a knight d7, or maybe they have in their mind they want to play here, in which case it doesn't really matter whether they start with knight d7 or knight c6. But very often, black has a different idea than the standard idea of castling kingside. So here I'm going to recommend, instead of queen d2, which is what by far the majority of players play, bishop d3 is a tricky move. So the idea is that if black just simply, for example, plays knight e5, we can take, and queen e2. If you'll remember from the knight e5 section, a few videos back, knight e5 after castles in that instance, from d7, but same position, minus that black has castled. In that line, for example, say black castles, we castle, say bishop here. Well, actually, already after white castles, the queen is here, so it's kind of like we're a tempo up. We already have this threat, and black has to make some awkward move like bishop d6 or queen e8 here. So we basically get a tempo up version of the same position, because you'll recall in that line we played queen e2 a few moves later. So that's a cool benefit. But black probably has another idea in mind. Bishop e6. So he's kind of telegraphing that instead of castling kingside, he's probably going to castle queenside. And here, yeah, again, instead of queen d2, we're going to play queen e2. And after queen d7, which is the most common move here, we're going to castle queenside here. And we have some nice traps. So by far the majority of players, 61%, will just castle kind of right into it. They have their plan. They're like, okay, white played a little differently, but this is my plan. This is what I studied. But they're missing some nuance here. And the nuance is, if you want to pause for a moment, you can. Bishop b5. So the idea is there's two pins. The knight is pinned, which means the a pawn is vulnerable, and the d pawn is pinned. So knight e5 is a threat. And actually, black can't really meet these threats satisfactorily. He's going to lose at least the a pawn, and probably much worse. So I'll show you the game that I played, actually, where black brought his king kind of out of the way, I guess to protect the a pawn, but it doesn't really solve the main problem. So I played knight e5, queen e8, getting out of the direct attack. But then knight c6, pawn takes, queen a6. And this is really nice because we're threatening check and then mate, since the knight covers this square. And if the knight is taken, it doesn't matter. We're getting mate because of the nice control the rook has over this file. And yeah, basically black has no moves. We're also threatening this typical bishop takes. King has to go in the corner, bishop comes back, and then check, and then mate over here. So after queen a6, black could just as well resign, but he played c5, and I jumped in with a knight, and if he moves the king, it's going to be mate. So he sacrificed the queen, and yeah, he played on a little longer, but quite soon resigns. So more often, instead of moving the king, which really does nothing, a6. But the thing about a6, it also does nothing. It attacks the knight, sure, but it doesn't deal with the main threat, which is knight e5. So now we're hitting the queen and the knight. Um, and we're threatening this sacrifice. And yeah, black just has no moves. If he takes the knight, we're going to take the queen with check. If he takes the knight with the pawn, obviously rook takes. And let's look at that because it might look like black gets enough material here. But we have this nice move. And putting the rook in the center. And we're going to follow up with either rook over here or potentially b4. And yeah, black can't oppose rooks because anywhere he moves the bishop, if he tries to attack our queen, we'll play queen takes knight. If he moves here, it doesn't matter. Yeah, queen takes knight. So yeah, black has just lost. If he tries to block up the d file, then yeah, rook d5, and yeah, there's not really a satisfactory way to stop mate besides just sacrificing the knight, which actually that's going to lead to mate anyway. I'll just look at that, yeah, and yeah, mate. So yeah, and this actually happened once in a game. So there's just all sorts of tricks, and yeah, black is just lost in this position. There's one, let's see. After a6, knight, oh yeah, knight e5. There's one move that black can play to try to save the day. Excuse me. There's been 58 moves, 58 games in this position, and black has never found this move, which is bishop c4, which is a tricky move because yeah, if we take this bishop, he can take our bishop. If we take the bishop this way, all of a sudden the knight's not pinned and he can take this. But black is not out of it. Again, this move has never been found by any black player, at least on Lichess. So you're unlikely to face it. But if you do, just queen f3. And yeah, all the threats remain the threat on the queen. Say queen e6. We can just take here. And yeah, this is going to be game over. So that's a really cool line. And more often than not, if your opponent does go down this line, he's just going to walk right into it, which is cool. So um, black may see this. If black gets to this position, and it's his move. I mean, if he gets to this position, it'll be his move unless there's some weird repetition or something in the opening. So it is possible 7% of the time white has kind of realized what's up and realized the danger of castling queenside. So he may kind of chicken out and go kingside. But then we could just play h4, and we have very similar positions to the ones we've already looked at, except a bit better for us because we've already got the queen e2, the queen on e2. So when we play knight g5, we may hop the queen out to h5. So this is just a slightly better version for us. And one more move to look at. Black may play bishop f5 to try to wiggle out of things. But this doesn't help. And this has almost never been played. Probably if black gets into this position, he's going to castle queenside or kingside. But if he plays bishop f5 to try to get rid of this attacking piece, then we could just take, and we're just trying to trade. Usually we wouldn't try to trade with the worst pawn structure, but the idea is that black's king is still stuck in the center. And for instance, the one game that went down in this position, black took because it's a double attack on the knight and the queen. And now he's hitting g7 and the bishop is pinned. So yeah, this is going to be difficult for black to try to defend. In the game he played queen g5 check, king b1, and yeah, he still could castle actually in this position. Let's just look at this. So here black did castle, but yeah, h4 is good. And actually h4 is just winning. Yeah, there's no moves. So yeah, castling is not possible. And these positions are fun to play where you just have this nagging pressure and one little slip up by black, all of a sudden, yeah, you can see the bishop is hit, the queen is hit, and yeah, okay, loses the pawn, sure, but now we're just a piece up. And yeah, I think the game has disappeared off the database, so I assume that means that black resigned after h4. So now you know pretty much all there is to know about this position, all the different possibilities black can try, and this one is kind of the most fun. Black just thinks, okay, I'm going to castle queenside too, and not be attacked, but actually black gets attacked pretty bad. So in the next two videos, we're going to look at the retreat, knight f6, which on its face just looks kind of nonsensical because black has now moved the knight 1, 2, 3 times, and we already have a lead in development. So yeah, this is just not such a good position. But still, if you don't know it, and we just play any old moves, black can't equalize. So we will look at that next. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.